What's going on, everybody? Um, Decided to go live. I know right now I'm not really talking to anybody, but this was going to be a video anyway. So if anybody joins me while I'm live, great. And if not, check it out later. I have a couple of physical media reviews I want to do, and just kind of generally talk about that. Something that is very important to me as a collector is keeping physical media alive. I'm a movie collector. Obviously, I keep up with the trends. There's a lot of boutique labels out there, but there's still some studio releases that you can go grab at Walmart that I recommend doing. And I'm always out looking for the next way to score something, since so much of what we do now is online. There's not a lot of stores that are still stocking this stuff. So when you find something, it really brings back that tangible experience, and that's something that I crave. And so uh, I had neck surgery, as many of you know, last year, and I kind of changed my focus a little bit on life, so to speak. So I had to put some of my hobbies to the side, and of course, the podcast was birthed through the boredom of sitting at home, and the neck surgery that was pending. Uh, I think we did two, maybe three episodes before my surgery, and then the next 6 weeks of episodes, I had this giant neck brace and everything. But due to that, I kind of slowed down on movie collecting and stuff. So I went about 9 months, I think, before I bought anything else. And so something that I couldn't pass up when I saw that it was in stores. Now, anybody who knows the process of this stuff or is in on it knows that this wasn't rare. This wasn't something that I had to rush out and buy. But when I saw this was in Walmart's, I had FOMO. And if you don't know what that means, it's fear of missing out. So I had the FOMO hit me really hard on this. And this is the Killer Clowns from Outer Space Steelbook release from Scream Factory right here. I don't know. I might have to turn my background off. There we go. So that's what yes, probably going to have to shut the background off, but that'll only take 1 second here to do that. But in the meantime, this is a 4K. This is a new scan, obviously being a 4K. It's the original camera negative, and I threw this into a Panasonic 4K player. Okay, it looked incredible. I have an OLED TV. I have LG OLED. It's at this point now, about 1-2 years old, somewhere in that range. So to call it the absolute top of the line would be a lie, but when I bought it, it was. So just it looked fantastic on my OLED. And let's see, here's the back there of this steelbook, and of course the inside here. There's some artwork, but steelbooks, they are very simple in design. So a lot of the artistic integrity kind of rests on the artwork that's going on top of it. Once you open these up, there's not really much going on. And so the transfer on this movie is incredible. The Killer Clowns from Outer Space is one of my favorite movies ever made. It was, as far as Blu-rays go, kind of a rarity for a while. It was put out by Arrow, and the rights kind of went away, so they stopped putting that out, and the value of that thing in the aftermarket skyrocketed. But so there was a couple of years there where people were paying absurd amounts for it. So Scream Factory going in and getting the rights for that, and then also, instead of not doing a blue but doing the 4K, it was a game changer for Killer Clowns aftermarket. You can see that rare disc now that was going for a lot of money is actually relatively cheap, as it should be. Now, of course, you could always get on like groove.com and grab like the old MGM Blu-ray that is inferior if you really needed to get it. For a while, that Blu-ray was popping up in Dollar Trees about 2 or 3 years ago at this point. Yeah, and so there were ways to get it, but this is definitive. This is probably the best it'll ever look. I had heard some people complain about the audio, but I watch movies with my headphones, and they are. I have relatively new, maybe about a year old Beats, and I always, listen to the audio with my Dolby track. So I had the, superior audio experience, and the sound mixing was amazing as well. So I can't recommend this disc enough, especially if you have 4K capabilities or if you care about audio mixes. They have some really good stuff that's offered there. Um, so that was my first purchase in like 9 months, and that kickstarted my mental illness again of having to buy movies and constantly being on the lookout. And so for Father's Day, my wife and children, they know that Tremors is like my absolute favorite movie. Like I love Tremors. I love the entire franchise. I don't know life without it, right? And one thing I've never owned was the TV series. I remember watching it on Sci-Fi. Now they have this box set, and they just announced a 7-movie Blu-ray Steelbook. Tremors physical media is not hard to come by. Ever since they've been doing these attack packs, it started with the Tremors attack pack many years ago, and it was the first 4 movies. And every subsequent movie that has come out has had a release that coincided with a box set, essentially. And so right now, the box set that they have out, this is a DVD set, and these are still the same prints that have existed throughout all of these box sets. But what's really cool about this one is the bonus features that you get in this, with the newer films. But the most important thing is this has the series. So I forgot to turn my background off there, but so if Tremors the series is important to you, you can get it, but it's like almost as much as you would pay for that box set that has all of the movies. I was like happy and thrilled to get that, right? But now I don't know if anybody's familiar with this site. It's called MacBid, right? And so you go there, and basically what it is it's a company that has returns from Amazon, and people just bid on them on the returns, and you get stuff relatively cheaper than if you were buying it new. Now, of course, you're buying something that was returned, so it could be defective, could be broken, could be fine. There's insurances you can get. So, of course, me and my movie collecting mental illness, I immediately jumped to I'm going to check out what kind of movies I can get there, right? So I was able to find, now a couple of these are DVD. The American Werewolf in Paris. A lot of people shit on this movie, but here's a hot take, man. Vastly superior to In London. I'll say that. I'll die on that hill. Anybody wants to argue it, then absolutely, let's argue. Here's a film from '86, a year before I was born. It's called Fire with Fire. This is currently an out-of-print DVD. Now, the Blu-ray you can get for the same price as this DVD is going for, but I was able to pick this up. I paid like $2 maybe for it. Same with the American Werewolf in Paris. And this awesome Kino release here, Revenge of the Ninja. So I can verify that there are boutique releases on MacBid, and I have found a couple. I've lost a lot of bids actually for a lot of stuff. They had the steelbooks that were released last year around Halloween, Halloween 1 and 2 from Rob Zombie, the Firefly trilogy, the Saw box set that they re-released. All of that stuff came out about a year ago, and then like every one of those releases was on MacBid a couple of weeks ago. I had forgotten that I was paying attention to them though, and so it kind of slipped by. So with all of that being said, I did manage to win another Steelbook. I haven't even opened it yet. This is the currently out of stock Batman Beyond Blu-ray Steelbook. I accidentally won this. If you could see here, the it was listed as complete series DVD, so nobody was bidding on it. But my son's super into Batman, and I thought this would be like a cool addition to kind of show him what Batman Beyond was like, because he plays as the Batman Beyond skin on Arkham Asylum. So I was able to grab that. I got that relatively cheap. That's currently hard to find. I don't think it's fully out of print officially, but it is out of stock, and people like right now it's like $54 on the Walmart website. I got it for I think like 6, if that. But yeah, so those are recent pickups, and so I was like, you know what, man, I'm rebuying a lot of stuff. Let's get some Halloween movies, right? So I lucked out there. Anybody who knows the Scream Factory Halloween box set market knows that the I guess technically out of print Halloween box set that they put out on Blu-ray, despite the fact that all of these movies now have 4Ks, still kind of goes for a lot of money. If there's a sealed copy of that, people are asking like $300, and obviously asking and sold prices are two different animals. But used copies of this thing are still going for like around 160, 170, 175, 180, 200 in that area. The day that I bid on this, it was $100. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to win it. So I'm just going to go ahead and bid. And maybe I'll upbid some people. I'll be that asshole, right? So I bid on this thing, and then nobody ended up bidding on it. So I got this for $100 plus shipping. So for what this is, that's a good deal. I still have to own these movies. I want to upgrade to the 4Ks again eventually. But one of the reasons why maybe this didn't go is that the guy switched out the cases I saw from the black Blu-ray cases to 4K cases. I can't understand the reasoning behind that, but maybe the fact that it wasn't all original cases, people didn't want it. So a lot of this collecting has to do with shelf collectors, and they don't really care so much about the movie, but they like the shelf collecting aspect of it, and that's just the way it is. And appeasing those people keeps the business going. So it's a necessary evil. I'm a movie collector. I watch movies. I talk about movies. Movies are the reason I buy movies. So I'm not bothered that we're going to open this box here and find that there is 4K cases instead of Blu-rays, especially because eventually I'm going to get the 4Ks and probably switch them out of the box anyway and throw them into this. But I haven't seen this yet. It could be a complete actual piece of garbage. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up live right now for everybody to witness, and maybe it's garbage, and you guys will get to see my despair as I open this up. The dogs are sitting there behaving. I was worried. I didn't want to put them out of the room because we just did 2 shows this week, and they don't like sitting out of the other side of into the dining room when I'm doing the podcast without me. So I'm happy that they are just sitting there listening to me talk about movies and stuff quietly. But so the guy definitely shipped it well. Got a solid box. It is filled with bubble wrap. I'm going to go ahead and open this up. Okay, so still has the J card, which is important to a lot of people. It's in rough shape. But the last time I owned this box set, I did not have the J card, which is the like the paper with the information that goes on the box. Still stupidly left the background on. But maybe just I'll change the background, see if that helps. Maybe an all black one. Nope, that's actually far worse. Okay. But so what we have is this Scream Factory release. It's 15 discs. This was a holy grail and remains a holy grail for a lot of people. So this was, in conjunction with Scream Factory and Anchor Bay. But I'm gonna go ahead and pop this out here. And yeah, so as advertised, for some reason he has these in 4K cases. Discs appear to be solid. There's at least the first one that I've opened here. Discs look good. They do not appear to be bootlegs or anything of that nature. It's missing the booklet. So that's probably oh no, it's not. No, I found it. Here it is. A fun story about this box set. I bought this once a couple of years ago. Somebody on eBay was selling just the cases, the movies, and they didn't have the outer box, or they didn't have the booklet. So I was like, well, that doesn't bother me. I'm a movie collector. So I bought them, and then I put it on the shelf, and it bothered me. So I eventually found somebody who was selling the box. I bought the box on its own separately. I bought the booklet separately, and I built this thing. And at the time, the 4Ks weren't out yet. So the value for what I had spent versus what I had was a lot better. And so I took an offer for it. I made I would say I sold it for $300. I probably made $150, $200 on it after selling it. But yeah, so the booklet's here, the box is here. It's not in terrible condition for what I paid for it at all. It's kind of neat having the J card. Now, one of the reasons that I justified buying this versus the 4Ks is Rob Zombie's Halloween and Halloween 2. To get good copies of that movie, you're still paying like $40 for them. There's an Umbrella release that has 2 of them, and that Steelbook that I mentioned earlier is out of print already. So people are charging like 40, 50. I've seen upwards like closer to 100 for that thing. And so I was like, if I'm going to be spending $40 alone on these Rob Zombie Halloweens that don't have 4Ks yet, well, what's another $60 for the rest of these movies until I'm ready to rebuy the 4Ks? And so I just took a shot and I won. And I'm going to have to pop these in to make sure they work. Obviously, this box set had an issue with Halloween. I want to say it was 5, had some shuttering or something that was wrong with the disc that they fixed in the 4K. But that's all right. That doesn't bother me too much. This box set's the only way to get some of the special features as well that didn't port over to the 4K. So Curse of Michael Myers, which is Halloween 6, I believe, has that special stuff that you can't get with the 4Ks. So sorry. If you're a completionist, then it's worth having in and by itself there. But I did not mean to go 20 minutes live on this. Just wanted to check those movies out. And like I said, I was going to do video anyway. That's it. Check us out. We just did 2 amazing episodes this week. We had Bill Van Ryn from Groovy Doom and Drive-In Asylum, and I'm a big fan of. We had his Drive-In Asylum show partner, Sam Panico, a couple of weeks back. And last night, anybody who really cares about the stuff that I just talked about, you're going to know who Brad Henderson is. And we had him on, and we talked about Vinegar Syndrome and Terror Vision and all of the really in-depth discussion that we had was awesome about the physical media game. So be on the lookout for those. Check those out. We had our new episode that went up on Monday. Just keep trucking with us. We're having a good time, expanding and talking about some other stuff. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we will squat you later.